welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Joining me is a very special fellow. He is one of a kind. Oh, I already switched over. It's Phil. Busted.
Oh,
He switched to the
Surprise.
shot early, so he's got, didn't even get a chance to really rally.
Yeah, I
you
really
up.
wanted to see where you're going with that. It's like there's only so much you can say before it becomes obvious that you're stretching.
And they're really talking about you, right, Phil?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, Phil, sustainability specialist here at the city of Fitchburg. It's finally out. The draft sustainability plan.
The draft sustainability plan.
How about it?
It's in draft form. It's great. It is quite a few pages. There's a lot of appendices and things in there, but yeah, there's a lot to read through. We've got so we started this process last summer with our consultant, Pale Blue Dot, and we've gone through the first stage of kind of collecting background data, collecting public feedback in a survey. We did a second stage that was working with a planning team of volunteers from the community and getting some input from staff as well. We now are ready for stage 3, which is take this draft out to the public, take it to committees, get input, try to figure out, are there any remaining gaps? Is there anything that needs to be tweaked at all before we finalize the plan and take it to committees and council for final approval? So where we're at right now, we're really looking for more public feedback now that we have this draft put together. So there are a lot of high-level goals and strategic actions to help us achieve those goals that were put together by staff and the planning team. And the draft plan has all of that. It's got the narrative, it's got the background data, it's got those goals and actions. You can find it on the city's website. If you just go to fitchburgwi.gov and search for sustainability plan, there is a page specifically for this plan, and it'll link you to the draft. But then you can access that draft plan online, and there are comment boxes and tools for you to be able to provide some feedback on the website, Pale Blue Dot, on this plan. So we're looking to get all of our review completed by the end of August. That gives a fair bit of time here, but 2 months can pass real fast. So if you're interested in this, go check it out and give it a look and give some feedback.
Phil, I've asked you this on many interviews, and I'm going to do it again, but I think it's important to understand, why is this plan so important? Why are we going through this exercise and really setting ourselves up here for some good things in the future?
Yeah. It's a good question. I was here for three years before we really started working on this, and it's a combination of just, it's a big lift, but also we've been doing a lot of really good things as a city. You know, we love to talk about Fitchburg was one of, or if not the recycling leader in Wisconsin years ago. We have a fantastic set of committees and commissions and boards that work on a variety of things related to sustainability. You've got the Resource Conservation Commission, you've got the Housing Committee, you've got the Healthy Neighborhoods Initiative group. You know, there are a lot of different areas that we are making great progress. What we kept coming back to was a sustainability plan helps to look at all of this as a whole. It helps to look at, kind of step back and see, what are we working on? What have we maybe not been tracking? This is a document that will help us to see the whole slate of things that we should, want to be working on, and kind of prioritize them and figure out, is there anything that we can break up into smaller chunks and attack that way? And so that's something that we haven't really had without a sustainability plan, is we're still accomplishing a lot, but there hasn't been as much of a sort of clear, centrally focused strategic document guiding that effort. So that's the point of this plan, is if we want to really maximize our resources in trying to decrease our carbon emissions, protect natural resources, keep our water and air as clean as we can do at the local level, support the community in making some of these changes as well, push for a more green jobs focused economy and equitable economy society, that getting a document like this, I think, is going to be really important, rather than just sort of taking each piece as it comes and, oh, right, I thought of this today, maybe we should work on it. So this is really intended to be a guiding strategic document for all these efforts.
And how does this plan roll into other plans? Because I think this is the backbone to supporting other initiatives, right? So if we're trying to conserve water, so does that mean, new water laws or water, that's probably a bad
It's a great
example.
question.
But how do those implement into other plans?
A very good question, and something that we still will have to work out. So once we get the plan finalized, then we start working as a staff on implementation and what that's going to look like. There are definitely places where this plan overlaps with, interfaces with, synergizes with existing plans. The trick is to make sure that they work together as well as possible rather than having competing priorities or butting heads. And so there were a couple points where we had maybe some high-level goals that we were going to set for this plan, and we said, wait, but we've already got, like a tree preservation ordinance that was just passed. We want to make sure that we're not shortchanging that or kind of diverging from it. So we change a couple things to make sure they're in line with other plans that already have hard goals set for the city. It's something that we kind of deal with all of our plans. You're going to get points of overlap with the comprehensive plan and a lot of other plans in the city. And so just working as a staff to kind of interpret that and figure out how do we make sure that these are all pushing the same direction.
I think it's good to know.
It'll be a challenge, but a worthwhile one. Yeah, I personally agree. That's my job here, of course, is I think sustainability does really undergird everything or almost everything we do. And then it's about working with departments, with staff, with the community to bring that into fruition.
All right, one more time, if people do want to get involved with commenting or come out and hear the plan as it is, how can they do so?
Go to fitchburgwi.gov, search for sustainability plan. That's going to be the easiest way to do it.
All right, perfect. All right, last topic of the day is something that you just shed light, and both Nick and I are like, we'd never heard of this, and it's very interesting and kind of sad. Earth Overshoot Day.
Yeah, so a lot of people are familiar with the idea of a carbon footprint or an ecological footprint. What is my specific impact that I'm having on the Earth's resources? As you might imagine, if you can calculate or estimate the average ecological footprint for everyone on the planet and multiply that by the number of people on the planet, that gives you a sort of quantitative sense of as a species, what our demands on the Earth are. The Earth is a finite resource, and so we kind of have a sense of what does it have available to support those human needs. Ideally, what we'd like to get to in terms of being sustainable is having those in line, that our total demands as a species are at or below what the Earth can sustain and replenish. We're not there. We kind of are all familiar with this, that as a species, we put a pretty heavy strain on a lot of the planet's resources, and we're looking for ways to decrease that. But Earth Overshoot Day is a nonprofit. It's a website that kind of looks to measure this discrepancy. At what point in the year do we actually hit the Earth's sustainable resource limit, and everything beyond that we're kind of tapping into reserves? If you go back to the 70s, the total population of humans on the Earth was using about what the Earth could then provide. We're at a point now where we're probably hitting that limit. This year they've calculated that August 1st is Earth Overshoot Day. So everything beyond August 1st, we're now kind of tapping into those reserves and straining the Earth's resources a bit more. So it's really just trying to bring awareness to this idea that our demands are currently unsustainable, and we'd love to find a way to make them sustainable. We'd love to find a way to draw that down. Whether it is, there's a variety of things that can be done, and it's decreasing our individual and collective consumption. It's doing more service-based things rather than goods-based things, because again, you have fewer resources now. It's decreasing energy use. If you go to Drawdown, was a book that came out, boy, was it maybe a decade ago now? Paul Hawken edited this, and Drawdown is just his look at, there are all these different ways we impact the Earth. How can we, instead of trying to tackle everything via power plants, everything via electric vehicles, how do we take a manageable chunk from all these different areas in a way that it adds up to decrease our collective impact the way that we need? So Drawdown's a really good look at a bunch of sort of more manageable, even micro solutions to this problem. But Earth Overshoot Day is just about acknowledging that, hey, we're stressing the Earth. Is there a way that we can bring attention to that and try to decrease it? One thing that you can do at an individual level is check out your ecological footprint. If it's not something you're familiar with, you can go to footprintcalculator.org, and just you can do a more detailed or kind of a high level look and just get a sense of, are there places that maybe I could cut back in meaningful ways that'll decrease my demand. And it'll be a combination of things. We'll need different government regulations. We'll need different changes from manufacturers and industry that's all going to trickle down to consumers. And we need changes on an individual level as well, because it's the individuals who are telling these companies these are our priorities. It's individuals who are voting for politicians that set those priorities. So we all have a part to play, and just kind of trying to bring awareness to it.
Never heard of it, but I'm glad you shared it. I seem like I learn something new every time you come on the show. Phil.
That's part of the goal. Sorry if it's a bummer, but the goal is more to
educate.
Is to educate and inspire.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a less than ideal situation. Now let's work on fixing it.
All right, Phil. Well,
Yeah.
if you want to learn more about what Phil is doing on a day-to-day basis, you could email him.
You can email me.
But you should follow the
chat.
newsletter. That's where I'm going to.
There we go.
Call Phil right now. He'll take your call. Caller number 5 and 6.
Yeah, you can check online. So I do a Green e-newsletter. Right now it's about every other month, so I've got a July-August one that I need to put together. If you go to Fitchburg's Notify Me site, you can sign up for Green Fitchburg notifications, and that's where the Green e-newsletter gets distributed. That's that.
Fantastic, Phil. Thank you so much. We'll see you back here next month.
Happy July.